मार देखते रहिए. Hello, good afternoon to one and all. This is Kranth Patnaik, and I'm going to teach you today about some of the more important details in the Photoshop. So yes, we have been learning Photoshop from the last couple of days. Yes, we have been learning about what is exactly Photoshop and what are the few things that are basically used in the Photoshop as well. We have been learning. So yes, from the last one day, we have been learning about a menu bar. In menu bar, we have been learning about the file and the edit. So today we are going to learn the image and the filter box on the menu bar. So before I go ahead and explain about these two, also want to explain you about what is exactly the Photoshop. I was been telling you about the Photoshop carriers and also about the Photoshop importance, and that is going to be editing an image and creating an image. So today we are going to basically learn about what are the more advanced options that we have in the Photoshop that we have to learn while you go with the basics of the Photoshop. So now let us see the interface of the Photoshop here. So always I used to say this is the interface. I mean, I keep on telling you, if you want to work on the Photoshop, the most important thing that you should go and remember is the basics in the Photoshop. That is, the shortcuts. Shortcuts are one of the most important things that you undergo. So now let me tell you the all-time, option for opening a tab, that is Ctrl+N, where we get a tab which gives you the resolution details of the tab that you are about to open. So once I put the enter, I'm going to get the tab here. So now I am going to work on this tab. So yes, we have been learning what is file, what options do we have under file, and also what we have in edit. So yes, we have been learning about file and also we have been learning about edit. So now the options that we are going to learn is image and then layer. So now I'll just take a picture and I'll show you in here. So now let us see what we are about to learn. So now let us see what options do we have. So the first one here that you can see is in image. The first one is more, and then again you have some more options. So I'll also show that for you. In image we have mode, and then we have bitmap, grayscale, duotone, infrared color, RGB color, CMYK color, lab color, multi-channel, and then these are the things that, which bits channel you want to work with is one of the most important things you have to learn. And then we have assign profile and then convert to profile. So these are the advanced options that you can work on, but basically you are going to work with the RGB color and as well as putting grayscale in it. For example, if you're working in the animation, there are some times where we work on grayscale. Grayscale is nothing but everything is going to be in the black and white. For example, if I put the OK, everything is going to turn into the black and white. For example, even if I put something and then if I give a color and then Control D, there is nothing that we're going to work. Even if I put red and then give a color, if you can see, if I click here and then put any color, that is going to come to the gray color. So I'll delete. So this is obviously going to be the grayscale, because nowhere in the Photoshop today here you're going to get the colors once I have put the grayscale. We work on the bitmap, basically we basically use this sometimes where we are working on the black and white mode. So RGB is nothing but you'll get all the colors. That's as simple as it is. Okay, this is what you have to remember. So to undo options, I always have said you Control Alt Z, Z, and Z, and Z, and Z, and Z, and Z, and Z. This is what we have come to the normal mode. So these are what you have to remember. And in image as well, we have adjustments. And what are adjustments? You know, these are all the adjustments that you have. For example, let me tell you levels. You know, always I have been telling you. For example, I'll show you. I'll create a new layer and then I'll create something. I'll create a box and then give a color for that. And then that, and then now let's see, in image we have adjustments, we have levels, adjustment levels. So I'll do one thing, I'll actually screen this and then I'll go for the paint and then I'll paste it here so that you guys can see it. So I will crop this. So now I'm going to make you learn about what exactly do we have. See, in adjustments, the first thing that we have is levels, that is Control plus L. So let us hit Control plus L in the Photoshop and see what will happen. Control plus L. So we got a bar here. Look at here, this is amazing. So you are going to get this change because this is the levels that you're going to work with. Okay, this is what you're going to do. Control plus L. So here once I put the levels here, if you can see the level tab, you have RGB, which you can basically edit RGB, or if you can also put the red contrast and then start working on it. You know, this is not going to happen because the entire file is in the red. So now I'm going to put RGB and then I'm going to edit this. So what happens, it's going to turn black. So all working on the color basis. And then let us see again what is the next one, that is auto level. Shift Control plus L. Control Shift plus L. What is this option? When I put Control plus Shift plus L, you have different options here. You can basically work on different kinds of things. You know, I'll tell you auto levels. For example, I'll show you here in the Photoshop. Control plus Shift plus L. Turned into the auto category of the color. So this is something which goes take you to the auto edit of the thing. So you have Alt Shift plus Control L. Let us also see this. Alt plus Shift plus Control L. So this is the original color that we have been working with. So it auto contrasts the color to the original format on what we have imported in the first category of the work. And then we'll see the next level, and then we have auto color, that is Shift plus Control plus B. Guys, these are all the shortcuts. You always have to remember on what shortcuts you're working with. So we'll also put the auto color. Control plus Shift plus B is the option we have. Okay. So this is the auto correction, that is this is the original color anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna turn this. I'm gonna turn this into the other color as we thought of doing. So I'll reduce the opacity, or I'm gonna put it same, or and then I'll detach it. See, it's not happening, right? Okay, Now I am going to put old color. Then I am gonna delete the layer. Then I'm gonna create another one. Whatever. Okay. Can put it. I'm gonna put it. So Control U, saturation, hue. Okay. Control U. Control U. So here are the 4 colors that we have, and we are going to work with the usage of the Control U. You know, yes, in image we were been working on the adjustments, and then we were been working on the different colors. So once I have shown you about what colors we can work on with, so auto color we have been working with the Shift plus Control plus B, and then we have curves, that is Control plus M. So let us see, once I click something and then I put Control plus M, you get the curves that you can work with. So see, can you look at this, how exactly the color changes? It gives you the extraordinary structure of where exactly your color wants to stay. You know, it's the same violet color, but that's again turning into the different perspectives of the color saturations. Even if you can want to reduce the capacity of the you know, color, you can put it, you know, you can shift it, and then you can basically edit that. Interesting, isn't it? That's what Photoshop is, you know. It's a pool of you know, things that you can put forward in doing all this. So color balance, if you want a color balance, I'll show it to you. So see, a slight change, you can't even observe that the things are happening. Okay, so shit. Okay, now I'll put it here. Can you see this? It's a minute details that we're gonna have. Okay, so this is the minute editings that we can do. Nice. So and then we have in adjustments, brightness or contrast. If you want to increase the brightness or contrast, there is no shortcut for this. You can just go ahead and, you know, you can make it dark, you can make it super light. Then you can put the contrast, you don't need to put the contrast, it's absolutely your wish. Okay, so the color itself got changed because of lack of contrast. Is again something that we can use to make the other person understand what exactly the Photoshop is, but never put the contrast low, because the entire image gets distracted from the RGB to the color contrast. That is the opposite of the color contrast, in fact. Nice. And then we have in adjustments, hue and saturation, that is Control U, that I have been doing. So let's see here. See, this is not anything is not happening. You know why? I have said you before itself, because here in this the contrast I have put it very low. So now I'll show you again. what have happened the last time I've been working on this. This is the original color that we've been working on. Now for this contrast will work. I mean the hue one will work definitely. See, now the color changes. So these are the few options. That we have. Okay, and now we'll go with some more options. Desaturate, that is whatever saturation that you have put for the image or the color, you can get back to the back option. And replace color and selective color and channel mixer and gradient map are only gonna work once you are with the color synchron. I mean we call them as color synchron, where we people gonna work with the advanced options of the colors. For example, when you're in the animation, what happens sometimes you really don't know what you're working with. You know, sometimes when we go for the under sections of putting face masks, or you know, doing big projects like you know, Hollywood films, or you know, whenever I talk about the big projects, it's really related to the internal parts of the colors. So when you're working on the pixel bitmaps of the pictures, you people are going to work with it. So let's see here once. I'm very sorry. Let's see here. Desaturate and replace colors are the two important things that we're going to work with. So when I speak about the gradient map, guys, when I speak about the gradient maps are going to give you the high-end color. So gradient maps will put you, for example, if you are working in gradient maps, the most important thing that you have to remember is gradient map is one of the best option for working on the channel perspectives of the color, because this is all the color management. You know, you people will not get it right now. Color management is something which is not actually in the minor stages of the learning. So we are going to learn about the color management later and later after, when we go deep into the Photoshop. So color management is going to teach you about how exactly we have to manage the colors, foreground and background, to put the gradient sectors of channels. I mean, you know, it's a very long story, and it's a very long theory of understanding the colors. So these are all going to put you into a good mapping process when you are in deep into the Photoshop. So now let us see the next option. We have invert. We have invert. That is whatever we have done, it's just to reflect into the opposite of what we have done. And then we have equalize, and then threshold and posterize. All these are relevant from here. It's all work. You people will be working on the color gradients and color detailness of an image. So now let us see what are the next options that we have apart from mode and adjustments. Duplicate is nothing but having a duplicate of something. For example, if I go for this and then duplicate. Yes, I am gonna get a duplicate image of that. See, so whatever I have done, I got the duplicate of this. I am going to work on it. So once if I put into duplicate, I am gonna get more. So these are all the options that we have to work on the duplicates. So don't put it unless you are in deep of the workage of the Photoshop. So now we have apply image, where you're gonna apply an image. You know, this is gonna be an image right now. See. This is gonna be an image right now. And then image size. This image size right now is 1024. While you are also working on the Photoshop, you can basically change it. Okay, so I am gonna put 768. So the next instant movement, the canvas size, you know, even you can right click on the tab, you know, even if you right click here, you have image size which you can basically edit it. So this is what we can do, you know. It's also when you're working, you can edit the image size, whatever you want, you can do it, nothing like that. So we have more options as well. We have more options as well. Oh, something have gone wrong. Okay, so we'll create a new one and then we'll start working on this. So once I put any color, guys, always make sure whenever you're working on Photoshop, you save the file, because see, right now we have a problem where I have been doing so many things and then suddenly the work file have dismissed. So at that particular point, you can just import the work file on what you've been working. So put the color. Then I'm going to show you a few different things, you know. In image we have rotate canvas. That means this canvas you can basically rotate it. For example, if I put 180, this will go down. Or I'll import an image for you and show what will happen. Control O, and then I'll import an image. So now if I go here, select this tab, go to image, and then rotate canvas to 180. This is going to go upside down. Really nice. And then we have horizontal. These are all the options, you know, whichever you want to use, you can use, but I'm not going to do all this. Rotate 180, it's going to be straight. So this is what you're going to see. Usually most of the time we are going to use this rotate canvas, flip canvas, horizontal. So it's going to be the same, but the left right is going to be changing. So that's what you always have to remember. And then we have trim options, where we can basically put trim the canvas. So these are all few options that we have in the Photoshop. So guys, whenever I speak about the Photoshop and when we have been learning about the Photoshop, yes, we have been learning about the menu bar and little odd to understand how many things that we have in the Photoshop. But whenever I speak about the Photoshop and its main uses, guys, if you don't know the basics, that means whatever we have been talking today, that is Control U, Control M, Control L. These are all the options, few quick options that will help you in editing an image very quickly. So we are going to spend a lot of time in learning and less time in doing things. So these are few of the helpful things that will make us a professional in our further working or in our further career. You know, this is what is actually very important for you to learn the basics. So all these are the basics. Don't unknowingly do any interface mistakes, because there is a chance of you spoiling the entire interface of the Photoshop. That means if you do something which Photoshop can't accept the controls, it will corrupt as a software. So again, you have to install the software and then start working on the Photoshop. So don't do any experiments, just go with the basics of the Photoshop and start doing it. So this is what we have learned today. Basically, we have learned image, and whenever I speak about layer, tomorrow we are going to start with the layer. So I'll just quickly give you the introductions of the layer. So let us see here in the canvas of layer. Here I'm going to show you the canvas of the layer, where we have new, how to open a new layer, and the layer box. Whenever I speak about the introduction to layer, we have, so this is a very big menu here of the layer, and then the shortcut for this is this one. If you can see, this is the layer box, and the entire Photoshop runs on this box. Guys, if you don't know this, you never know what is Photoshop. So this is the most important thing that you have to learn. Image is an important thing, as well as the layers. Layers is a mother of the entire Photoshop. If you don't know layers and its importance, you can never work in the Photoshop. So this is what I'm going to basically start tomorrow, and we'll finish it tomorrow. So make sure you are thorough with this classes, whatever we have been learning, and start practicing, because that is what makes you a professional, in fact. So thank you so much for listening to my class. It was really good to have a conversational class with a lot of students. So if you have any doubts, please comment below and then start practicing this. I am Kranth Patnaik, and I'll be taking more classes for you in the Photoshop. Thank you so much.
ప్రభవించే సూర్యునిలా ప్రశాంత ప్రకృతిలా